But I'm thinking next week we get something funkier and dirtier. Daddy. Hey, one time my wife and I, it was crazy. All right, it may take you a while. It may take you quite a bit of time to find it. But, okay, everyone cries, I need some help. Can I have a heart?
Focus up. I'm talking to you, CG. CG is my buddy Corey Garrison. He just came over earlier today. He and I both have, I don't want to say it's a fetish, but it's kind of a fetish or an infatuation. That's a better word, with hippos. Because if you've ever really studied hippos, they are like they are the most dangerous animal. You can't even shoot them. Well, I mean, you can, but it's like scratching them. It's like a mosquito on them. So he bought me this little floating hippo back there, and supposedly you could put it in the pool, but our pool's not open yet because we live, where it's cold, so it's not open yet. But it's going to be frightening, because if this thing ever is real, which I hope it doesn't, it's going to be wild. Welcome to episode 119 of the Rubio Method. My name is Chris Rubio. We've got a phenomenal show for you today. We're going to cover the top 5 topics. As always, everything happens for a reason. I'm going to talk about more airport stories. I've been traveling a lot lately, and for some reason, you guys like the airport stories, and I've got some doozies for you today. Then we're going to move on to there are winners and losers in life, where I'm going to talk about me getting old and music, which I never thought this would happen, but it's officially happened. Then we're going to move on to accept and embrace. Major League Baseball is doing some really smart, I don't want to say advertising things, but it's kind of ways to get the people into the stadiums. Working hard is not enough. Last week, I went through one of the worst pains of my life, and I need to discuss it with everyone. And I have a list of top 5, I think it's five or 6 pains that I've experienced, and how they are pretty much all worse than giving birth. Maybe a little controversial. I don't know. Then we've got confidence is the key. We're going to talk about the Masters, just a little bit about it. We're going to talk more about just the confidence issue about it. And then we're going to talk about the bottom line. The bottom line is all the stuff that you should have learned without even realizing you learned it. So here we go. Everything happens for a reason. All right. So you guys know I fly a lot. I'm all over the place. This past weekend, I was in Nashville. And for some reason, I don't know if it's just me or I'm starting to notice people more, but the whole, let's say, support animal thing, it's got to stop. The only support animal, there's 2 support animals that I support. Number 1, if you're blind, obviously you need a damn dog. Okay. You can't do that little stick thing the entire time. You're going to need some sort of dog that guides you around. I get it. If you have too much anxiety to go on planes, maybe don't go. Maybe take a train, maybe take a car. But if it's something that you're going to stress about that much, it's not even worth it to you. I mean, yes, you'll get there in half the time or a tenth of the time, but if you're stressing out that much about it, where you need, a dog, like I said, I've been next to someone who had a German Shepherd, and I used the damn German Shepherd as an ottoman because we were in the bulkhead, so there's no seats in front of you, and there's that wall. And this was not a small German Shepherd. I mean, we're talking about 100-pound German Shepherd, and he was just resting across all the way where our hoofs went. And I said, "Hey, man, I don't know what to do." And he goes, "Go ahead, put your feet on him." And he goes, he won't even care. So I did. I used him like a damn ottoman. I had my own little lazy boy. So you can have one if you are blind, or if you have one of those special ones that can sense seizures. I don't have no idea how that happens, but they have those dogs that they know you're going to go down. And so what they'll do is they'll lay down under the person's head, because when they start having a seizure, I guess they start smacking their head against the ground or something. You are allowed to have a support animal. Everyone else, no. These are my rules. Okay. Here's the reason why. I'm leaving Nashville's airport, getting in an Uber, and here's the support animal that I see. For those listening on iTunes and Spotify, there's a lady with, I'm not a bird person, but I think it's a parakeet, a cockatiel, or something. In the bottom right-hand corner, you can see she's got one of those little cat carriers where, you throw a cat in there. This is for her bird. What the hell is this bird doing for her? There's literally no way this is supporting her in any way. Okay, it's not going to stop her head if she's having a seizure. It can't talk to her. It can't guide her along the way. It's got no leash on it. This. I've seen a lot of bad ones. This to me was top 3, maybe the top dumbest support animal I've ever seen. This is stupid. This should not be allowed. Which brings me to other things that should not be allowed. You're boarding a plane. Everyone huddles to this area, which, okay, I get it. You want to go there, okay? If you need to take a little nap or lay down and you've been traveling all day, pick a far corner. far, far away, as they say in Star Wars, because this lady decided, well, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to lay down right here. And see the dude on the left? He is just about to board the plane where he's going to walk about 5 more feet and get to the front. So she's laying down, checking text. She's got her pineapple suitcase. She's got her backpack, and she just sprawled out having a good time. Hey, honey, you're allowed to lay down. Just pick a far corner of the airport. No one wants to step over you. At this point, if someone steps on her, it's her fault. I'm fully supportive if anyone wants to accidentally, quote unquote, step on her, because you deserve it at this point. This is on you. So that's the second thing that pissed me off this weekend. And this next one, I don't know if it pissed me off or if it was just amazed. I see this guy and I can hear him talking, and he sounds kind of like he was in a crowd, and I could hear someone talking almost like a wizard. He's kind of saying these weird words, and I'm like, what the hell's that? And so I'm looking around because we're boarding the plane. There's a lot of people. And then I catch this guy. By catch him, I mean I catch a glimpse of him. And when I show you this photo, he wasn't going to like Comic-Con. This was just this dude's outfit. And I took a picture of him, and you can see in the picture, he's clearly looking at me. Don't even care. Because if you're dressed like this, you're expecting to take photos. So this guy, he's wearing a triple quadruple X throw rug / poncho. He looks like a wizard. Underneath the poncho, you can't really tell. He's wearing a bed sheet underneath it. Because I was looking when he was walking around, seeing how it was swishing and swaying. Okay, I'm like, is this a skirt? Because unless we're in Scotland or Ireland, dudes aren't really wearing skirts. But I couldn't tell if it was a robe, but I think it was just a sheet that he wrapped around himself. And he was not a Muslim or anything like that, or a Buddhist or anything like that. Just this was what this guy's rolling with. And more power to you, bud. Honestly, it looks comfy. I could sport this for Halloween or at home. But if you're going to the airport and you're wearing this, people are going to look. People are going to take a photo, and you've just got to basically go with it. So why everything happens for a reason? There's my reason for that. So there you go for that. Those are my 4 basically stories for everything happens for a reason. This is going to be a quicker show, but it's okay because it's still going to be fantastic. So let's go to the next one. There are winners and losers in life. All right. So there's winners and losers in life. When you're young, you do a lot of dumb things. That's just what happens. I always tell my generation people when I'm speaking to things that, if they had cameras or cell phones where every single one of your buddies had a video camera and or just normal camera with you, most of the adults my age probably be arrested or in jail because you did a lot of stupid things, but no one ever saw it. Okay, no one ever saw it because no one had a video camera. No one had a camera with them. And even if you did have a camera, which no one did, no one's going to go to Kmart or wherever you go to get the film developed. And then in a week later, you're going to get that film developed. And then you're going to look and everyone's already moved past it because what the hell was that about? So when you're young, you're allowed to do dumb things, quote unquote dumb things. I've told you the story about when I was on spring break in college. Several buddies of mine, we all played football. We decided we're going to go to Parker, Arizona. It's basically Lake Havasu. It's just right next to it. And I think we rented the campground. I don't know if it's still there, if it's burnt down or they've just done toxic waste testing on it. That would be probably a good move by them. It was called Crazy Horse. I think it was called Crazy Horse. And it was just basically you rented a, let's say 10 by 10 square footage of dirt. That's what you got. And I'm not joking. I think the cost was $9. That's what you got for $9 was just, you could put a tent here. Okay. Well, we're coming from California, UCLA. We didn't have tents. No one had tents. We had to find one buddy of ours that did have a tent. And if you've ever been to Parker, Arizona or Lake Havasu, Arizona in April, May, when spring break usually is, I want you to imagine the sun and then double it. That's how hot it is. All right. And it's all college kids because only college kids would be dumb enough to spend $9 on a piece of dirt and just sleep in basically a Jiffy Pop tent where you're going to die because it's 1,000 degrees. And so we'd go there and we'd all hang out and do our thing, what college kids do. And it was a fun time. I told you the story where my buddy Myers, we went to eat at the buffet because we were, young, fat, and poor, and you had X amount of money to survive the whole time. You paid your $9 per day. We probably spent 2 or 3 days there, maybe 4, and then you'd have probably another $10 to eat. So we always found this one breakfast buffet it was good, but it was a buffet. It didn't have to be great. It was just food sustenance. We needed that sustenance in our system to survive the day. And I go to the bathroom after we just ate until we're about to black out from food. Basically, you had to eat one meal a day as much as you can. And I come back out, and Myers has this sombrero. And this is a big man. He's all of 6'6", 350. And he's got a sombrero that makes him about 6'9". And the damn wingspan of it is got to be 3 feet on each side. It's one of those just ridiculous ones that you buy in Cancun, like you're an idiot. No one buys these to wear them around. Mariachi singers are not sporting these things. And Myers is standing up, and the dude is as big as a house. And so we go towards the door, and instead of bending down, where he tucks his head down a little bit to get through, he's walking as stiff as possible. He looks like he's in the army. And I go, Myers, what are you doing? He's like, just keep going, just keep going, just keep going. Then finally, I'm looking up, and I see a sausage link just poking out. And I'm like, what the hell is that? And so I kind of get up on my toes and look a little bit. Myers has lined the entire sombrero rim with pancakes and sausages so we could eat later. Honestly, great move. We ate it for like a dinner, half lunch, half dinner. And he was able to duck down easy enough to get through. I don't know how he had it. Taco it basically to get through it, but pretty impressive by Myers by thinking about that. But see, that's something that's young and dumb. So this brings me to what happened this past weekend. This past weekend is music festival weekend. They're just kicking off because everyone's weather is starting to really pick up and get great. So Coachella is 2 weekends. It's in Indio, California. That's basically Palm Springs. For those that don't know, it's basically, let's go about 90 miles east of Los Angeles. There's nothing there. Nothing. That's why they have these music festivals there, because you're not disturbing any crowds. You're not disturbing any urban towns. You're not suburbia, nothing. It's in the middle of nowhere. And it started off as basically just, a cheap music festival that young kids could go to. Well, that cheap music festival, I just grokked it. That's the, chat GBT for Twitter or X. And it's on average now, just to get in, $600. That's if you can buy retail tickets. So this generation, I don't know how you guys can afford that, because when I was in college, there's zero chance we could afford that. All right. So that's number one. That's like just for 2 days. And they say the odds of you getting retail tickets, slim and none, and slim just left. So now you got to buy them off of, whatever, eBay or whatever you got, Facebook Marketplace, however kids do it these days. And so you're looking at least $2,000 for tickets. All right. So, okay, say you got $2,000. The problem is, at Coachella and all these music festivals, and I'm going to list a couple of them, they don't have hotels near them because they're in the middle of nowhere. And the hotel would be disgusting anyway, because so many just trashy kids are there. So you have to bring a tent, which, okay, you're young and dumb, more power to you. But then you got to spend more money on this, because they decorate their tents and put like inflatable couches. Some people bring generators because it's 1,000 degrees. So you're kind of losing it, and you're definitely losing me. Here's the other music festivals that they got going. Stagecoach. This is April and May, also in Indio, California. So same type of location, obviously, but this is more country western. Would I go to this? No. Too hot, too many people, too disgusting. I would like a shower. I would like to see the concert, go back to my room, shower, do what I got to do. I'm not sitting there, because the old man in me thinks to myself, what do I have to, if I have to use the bathroom? Where am I going? Because a lot of these are just standing room only, because they have several stages and you're not sitting down. I know this makes me sound very old. Don't care. I think once you get past, I'm going to say 30, maybe, you're like, it's not my thing. And I wouldn't mind going if I could have a helicopter drop me in, maybe right next to the stage, in like an air conditioned, like almost a Pope mobile. I'd be 100% in. I'd say, this is a good option. I would sit here. I would enjoy the music. When I was done, I'd go. And I want a private bathroom as well. The next one, this one I'm 100% out for. In New Orleans, they have the Jazz Fest in April and May. Number one, not a fan of jazz. Jazz is one of those things that either you like it or you hate it. I don't like it. We'll just say that. To me, it just sounds like someone's hammered playing, the jazz flute / drum / trumpet. And they don't know what they're doing, but I guess they're kind of keep going together with other people that think they know what they're doing. So it's not my thing. That's number one. That's not even the biggest negative about the New Orleans Jazz Festival. The biggest negative to me would be it's in New Orleans. Have you been to New Orleans in May? There's this thing called humidity. And anyone that knows me that I loathe humidity. There's a point of hate. And then there's 10 times that. That's what I feel about humidity. I think I'm the first, maybe only person that is allergic to humidity. If you've never been around humidity, or if you have, I'm going to describe to you exactly what humidity is and how it feels. Okay, so in your mind right now, after you, of course, subscribe and like on YouTube, X, and all those other ones, I want you to picture a man who's about, let's say, 5'3". So he's 5'3". He's a shorter dude. And he weighs, let's go 490, 500 pounds. So this dude's a quarter ton, and so you can just imagine how wide this human being is. And there's past obese. Like you're breaking a wall down to get him out of the house. All right. You need a forklift to get him to the bed. We're talking that obese. Now, I want you to imagine that he has to go when it's 100 degrees out, and he's got to go jog a mile. You got the visual right now? 5'3", 500 pounds, and he's jogging a mile as slow as he wants. But he's got to keep moving. Now, to describe humidity, I want you to imagine that you're living in that dude's belly button. You got the visual? That's what humidity is. You're living in that dude's belly button. Imagine how swampy and disgusting that thing is. And that's exactly what humidity is. So the New Orleans Jazz Festival in April and May, hard no. The last one, which I didn't even know was still a thing, was Lollapalooza. Didn't that start like in the 90s or late 80s? I honestly, I just was, checking this out on Grok, and it's in July and August, also in Chicago. So number one, didn't know it was a thing. Number two, Chicago in July and August in Chicago, another hard no. That's more. What's it called? Humidity, and I'm 1,000% out. So there are winners and losers in life. I guess there's winners for people that are really into this, and there's losers that don't want to be into it, which is me. I'm completely out on it. I don't think it's a good idea, but I'll tell you what is a good idea. When we come back after this commercial, we're going to talk about Major League Baseball and what they're doing. Let's go to our sponsor.
Todd, what's with the 40 on everything?
Haven't you heard? It's our 40th anniversary.
40th anniversary of what?
40 years of creating cool. Creating cool since 1985.
Focus up. I'm talking to you, Todd and Perry at Artbeat, one of our main sponsors. They do a great job. I have a big Vegas event coming up, and they always go bend over backwards for me. They are absolutely phenomenal. I can't say enough good things about them. Just really impressed with them. They're just fantastic. All right. So let's move on to accept and embrace. Major League Baseball. I'm starting to become more of a fan due to my youngest son. He's in baseball, and the baseball parents, let's just say they're unique. I've always said baseball is my least favorite sport to watch because it's, in my opinion, start a fight if you want, a little boring. I think it's a little boring. I think it's a little slow. I can fix it for you right now. Instead of 9 innings, make it 5, maybe 7. It should also be wiffle ball rules, where you should be able to peg someone. So if someone's rounding first and you're a pitcher and you want to throw it at his face, go ahead, because there's the option of, if you hit him, yeah, you're knocking him out. Phenomenal. But if you miss him, it's going into right field. So this is one of those things that there's trial and error. Could you risk it? Yeah. Would I watch it more? 100% more. Why do people watch hockey over soccer more? Let's just say in America, because I don't want to start an international riot where people say, oh, soccer is the most watched sport in the world, even though that's holy hell boring. And I know the World Cup's coming up. I don't care. Why do people watch hockey? Because they're beating the hell out of each other, and they're running fast, and they're basically he-men, where they're not even humans. They're just running around beating the hell out of each other with a stick in their hand. Phenomenal. So that's how you fix baseball. So, but what is baseball doing? They're doing a lot of these things to get people into the stands. They're speeding up the clock where pitchers only have, I think, 20 seconds or something like that, where you get the ball, you got 20 seconds. No waiting. I think the batter can only step out of the box 1 or 2 times. And so that's fantastic. So what are the things? Big thing right now they're talking about is the 9-9-9 challenge. The 9 challenge is you got 9 innings. Got it. Pretty obvious. To eat 9 mini hot dogs and consume 9 beers. Now, I'm not a beer guy, but 9 innings for 9 beers or 9 hot dogs for 9 innings. I feel like the hot dogs would be simple. I don't think that would be hard at all, because a baseball game, what's it last? 2.5, 3.5 hours. I don't think that would be tricky. I could do probably 9 hot dogs right now while I'm doing the show. I think that would be pretty darn easy. And if you space it out, see that's the trick. If you don't have to do it inning by inning, I think that would be easier for the hot dogs, because I'd probably go 5 or 6 right out of the gate, coming in hot, maybe double stack those bad dogs. I don't know. No pun intended. And then second inning, I would just take down the rest. I think that would be real easy. That would not be an issue for me. The 9 beers, say I had a gun to my head and I had to drink 9 beers, that would be an issue. Because if you're over 21, obviously, and you're drinking a beer, you notice that, okay, you're going to get very, very bloated, and you're going to start to burp. You're going to start to feel like a pregnant woman, where all of a sudden there's too much coming up. Okay. That would be very, very tricky. And then once you start peeing, you're going to be peeing every 2 seconds, because you're just consuming that much beer and liquid. And so could I do it? Yes. Would I want to do it? No. Do I think it would be easy? The beer thing would be tricky, but I could do it. If it was for the troops, I could 100% do it, obviously. So let's talk about this. Atlanta, and I want to make sure I get this right. So Atlanta Braves, this is the first one that I saw where they did the bat flip burger. Okay, so the bat flip burger, I want to make sure I get it down right here. Where is it? Oh, here we go. Okay, so the bat flip burger consists of a massive 7-inch burger. That's fine. Piled with 2 pounds of seasoned beef patties. That's a lot of meat. Braised short rib, crispy pork belly, melted cheese, onions, lettuce, tomatoes, and a fried egg on a toasted brioche bun. I could do that. In Atlanta, though, does Atlanta play indoors or outdoors? If it's outdoors, that's humidity again. I'm out. So I'm not in on that one. This is the next one that I liked a lot. The Texas Rangers, and I have a photo of this one. The Texas Rangers have the rally sombrero. So for those listening on iTunes and Spotify, this dude's wearing a paper hat that has a 2-foot tortilla sombrero hat that doubles as a vessel for a giant 9-inch layered dip, cheese, chips, lettuce, jalapenos, pico de gallo, and more. 100% I could do this. And I'm into it. Like, this is a great pickup. I don't know if you have to wear it the whole time. I'm going to say no, but the fact that they have a 2-foot tortilla, hard yes. I think this is fantastic. This other one I kind of liked as well. This is from the Yankees. They have, and this looks tricky because if you're looking at it, you're seeing a bucket of chicken. It's actually a bucket of, quote, fried chicken drumsticks that are actually white chocolate coated vanilla ice cream drumsticks with a crunchy candied cornflake coating and hidden chocolate cookie bone inside. I'm 100% in for this. So these are basically just drumsticks. I need to see how big that bucket is, because is it like a Home Depot bucket where it's a 5-gallon bucket? I would be double in, because those damn things would be the size of a femur on a large man. I think that's fantastic. I'm really into that one. Then the Arizona Cardinals or Arizona Diamondbacks, that's the Cardinals. Take me out to the ball game shake, 128-ounce nacho bucket of shake. A gigantic salted caramel milkshake loaded with whipped cream, peanut butter sandwich cookies in Kit Kat bars in Cracker Jacks given. They also have a shareable souvenir nacho bucket loaded with barbacoa, carnitas, chilies, and more. This one, 100% in. I could do this with no problem at all. This one doesn't look that big, though. I mean, you can see it compared to the baseballs, and it's maybe 3 times the size of a baseball. So I honestly, I think this one should be bigger. This one should be like the size of a basketball. Like, that one would be phenomenal. But yet again, I'm in. This next one, I'm 100% out in. Well, it's just more of a gimmicky one. This is for the Mariners. This is their fish and chips fairy because, Mariners play right on the water. Kind of quirky. I guess you're going to keep it, but you know damn well that you're going to end up breaking that damn thing. You're going to put it down on the ground because you don't want to hold it. Someone's going to step on it. And so this one's nice in theory, but it's not going to really pan out. I don't really like it. I don't think it's a good one. This last one is from the Houston Astros, which this is one of the most disgusting things I've ever seen in food. And this just might be a me thing because I've told you that I don't like pulled pork. I think it's disgusting, but this one is just disgusting. So for the Houston Astros, they have a brisket donut, fried brisket filled donuts with barbecue sauce and mac and cheese. So for those that are listening, you've got a Krispy Kreme donut. It looks like a Krispy Kreme. I don't know if it's name branding or whatever. They slice it in half and then they put pulled pork, barbecue sauce, and mac and cheese in between it. Holy hell. Number one, that's disgusting. Number two, are you just eating that on the toilet? That is just that is I gotta get it off the screen. That's one of the worst things I've ever seen. That is tragic. I think it's disgusting, and I think it would be painful to actually go through with that because you would be just gagging the whole time because it is so disgusting. Speaking of painful, working hard is not enough. Working hard is not enough. But you know what? Before we go working hard is not enough, you know what you could be working hard tonight? 9 o'clock, actually 6 o'clock. You got Sideline Sports. They are coming on. They've got a great show. Remember, the Rubio Method is part of the Sideline Sports Network. Make sure you check them out. They do a great job. They've got tons of great shows, great human beings. Can't say enough good things about them. At 9 o'clock p.m. tonight, you got AC of AC Sports Live. You also got The Ride with Chevy and Nasty. They both do great jobs. I'll be commenting on both of their shows. AC's is more strict, right down to the bottom line sports shows. I try to throw him several things throughout the week. It's like, hey, AC, talk about this so I can comment. And then The Ride, they're all over the damn place. Anything can happen with them. So last week, in case you haven't noticed, I have a cleanly shaved head, cleanly shaved face. I try to shave every single day. The problem is with you shave every single day, you can get what's called an ingrown hair. If you've never had an ingrown hair, it's basically the hair grows out and it goes back in really fast. I don't know how it happens, some sort of wizardry, but then it becomes basically a monster zit. And it almost embeds itself under the skin. So it's not just like a normal zit where it pokes out and you pop that thing and all hell's breaking loose and it hurts for a little bit. An ingrown hair is one of those where it hits and you can feel it coming because it's like a thumb poking out through your skin. I usually get them down here and you can't really see it and you can't pop it because the skin has overtaken the hair, if that makes sense. So what you got to do is you got to get some tweezers. I don't have any fingernails or they're short. So you got to get some sharp tweezers. It helps if you have a wife because my wife has like 9 different pairs of tweezers. I don't know what they're all for. I just find the one that looks like daggers and I get in there. Yes, I wash them, all that stuff. And you go in there and you just got to scrape the skin until you can see like the stupid little hair. Then you pull it out and it's usually like long and curly and kind of gross, but then it's like immediate relief. And you might have to squeeze a little, get some blood, get some pus out. That's neither here nor there. So I had that last week and I almost died because it was so painful, which led me to think, what are some of the worst pains I've ever had and how do they compare to giving birth? Now, this might be a little controversial. Because I know that everyone, all the women especially, are saying, wait a second, there's nothing worse than giving birth, which my argument always is. And I say this to my wife too. If it's so painful, why do you redo it? Then they usually number one worst pain for a dude is always, let's say, getting kicked in the groin area. Have you ever heard a dude say, it was bad, let's do it again? No, never. You know why? Because it's remarkable pain. It's the worst. You want to puke, pee, and crap all at the same time because you're in so much pain. So that, to me, it's got to be worse than pregnancy. Another bad one. If you've ever had a zit in your nostril, oh my God. That is one where you think, okay, your nose is pretty tough. What do you got to do? But if you've had one in your nose, like when you're picking your nose or something like that, and there's in there, that will make your eyes water, number one. You will feel pain like you've never felt. If you've never had one, you're very lucky. High five to you. If you have had one, you're like, yeah, Rubio's right. That was tragic. That was horrible. Another one. If you've ever had a zit, and I'm not a zitty guy, okay? Very rarely. If you've ever had a zit in your ear, holy hell. That's a bad one. That's got to be top 5 worst pains you can ever experience. But my number one, I think even worse than the zit in the nose, zit in the ear, ingrown hair, ingrown toenail. If you've ever had an ingrown toenail, basically your toenails are supposed to go out, but instead they go I guess down into your skin. I don't even know how that project starts, but it basically starts going in on the outsides of your skin. If you've never had one of those, consider yourself very, very lucky. I remember when I was teaching, I had one, and every step you take, every move you make, please, just kidding, is pain. And I remember I was teaching 6th grade at the time, and there was this girl. She was maybe 80 pounds, very teeny tiny girl, basically the size of a Cocker Spaniel, very small. If a Cocker Spaniel was standing on its hind legs, she came up to me, Mr. Rubio, and accidentally stepped on my toe. If I could have thrown her through the wall 10 times over and over and over for making me basically cry in front of the class, I would have. That was the worst pain ever. Because I can't even describe it. The nail going in is basically like jagged glass, and it's just hitting over and over and over and over and over. And it's by far unbelievable pain. On that note, if you've ever had an ingrown toenail taken care of, where they basically cut down the middle and kind of pull out the sides, it feels like the best pee you've ever had, because all of a sudden it relieves all that pressure. Oh, it's phenomenal. So if you've had an ingrown toenail, you understand what I'm saying. If you haven't, thank God you haven't, because it is the absolute worst. I'm talking the worst. Confidence is the key. Confidence is the key. This is the final category for today. The Masters was this weekend. The Masters, if you don't know, if you've been in a coma or living in a cave, Masters is probably one of the top, well, it's probably the most recognizable golf tournament of the year. It's in Augusta, Georgia. It's probably 2-3 hours just outside of Atlanta. Not an easy place to go to. If you have a home in Augusta, you can rent it out for the whole week for literally hundreds of thousands of dollars on VRBO, or Airbnb, same thing, because there's no hotels. My cousin just went. I was talking to him this weekend, and he went and they stayed in Savannah and basically drove in for the day because he got a practice round pass on Tuesday or Wednesday. They drove in from like 2.5 hours away because there's no hotels. And even if the hotels they have are very minimal, if they have a Motel 6, God love you, Motel 6. We've all stayed there. We've done that. Let's just say it's not the Ritz or the Waldorf Astoria. The Motel 6s for that week are $1,000 a night. That tells you how expensive it is. So Masters was this weekend. It's a crazy, crazy tournament because it's very, very private. You're not allowed to have a cell phone. There's no cameras. If they see you with a cell phone, they will take your cell phone and you're gone, and you're never allowed back. It's extremely hard to get to. You have to put your name in a draw. I think it's May or June, my cousin was telling me. And very rarely do you get chosen. I mean, he's been doing it for 20 years, and this was the first time he's actually got chosen. So he says, I'm not sure if I was going to be able to do it again. So he went, and Rory McIlroy won, and he fits perfectly for this confidence is the key thing, because on Friday he was playing not to lose. He had the lead. He had an early lead, and he played not to lose. He's a 2-time champion. He ended up winning. He won last year. Excuse me. He won again this year. And not a lot of people are big fans of him, but I don't care about that, because that's not the lesson I want you to learn. On Sunday, the finals round, he was 12 under, which he was in the lead. Then he was tied for the lead, fell back down, jumped back to the lead. It was the top 5 guys were up and down, up and down, up and down. Everyone was swapping with each other. Okay. It was very, very, it could have been anyone's, let's say, game. There was you couldn't say who was going to win. But then what happened is, which brings me to my point here, the other guys that were in the lead with him, let's say there was 3 or 4 that were pretty much in contention, they started playing a little bit more passive and playing not to lose instead of playing to win, where he was starting to stick his chest out and play with a little bit more confidence. Where we talk about confidence is the key. He was playing like, okay, I'm here. I've done it before. I'm going to go for it. Where everyone else was, you could see they were getting a little timid. And don't get me wrong, there's a lot of pressure here. I mean, the winner gets, I think, $4 million, and the next guy gets $1 million, and the final guy gets 40,000. So there's big jumps in difference. And there's 100 guys that get prize money. But this goes to the point, if you've ever played any sports, there's nothing worse than the momentum swing Okay, because it's going to happen in any sport you play where the momentum swings one way, it's going to swing back the other way. You have to be able to ride that wave. And number two, you can immediately see when players and or teams start to play not to lose. I've seen it 1,000 times, probably 10,000 times, where all of a sudden you can see they get a little timid. Their hands get a little jumpy. They get a little shaky. They are short arming things, like if they're throwing a pass or throwing a baseball thing like that, like a T-Rex, because I don't want to overthrow them. Instead of throwing it through the first baseman or catcher, they're trying to aim for the corners and things like that. You cannot do that in any sport. So I thought he did a very, 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 very good job of playing to win and not to lose. Say what you want about him. I'm not a big fan just because I think sometimes he's kind of a hypocrite where he's gone on campaigns of, hey, I got to be carbon free, carbon free environment. More power to you, bud. But it turns out the last month he's been dropping his kid off at school in Florida, taking his private jet up to Georgia, so it's just the state above him, and playing around at Augusta because he won last year, so he's got permanent membership. Okay, you can't be carbon free if you're using a private jet as a commuter car. You're burning how many thousands of gallons of gas? It just to play around a golf. Don't get me wrong. If I had the opportunity, 100%, I'd probably do it. But it's one of those things. Don't lecture me, bud, if you're going to do that. But his confidence, absolutely phenomenal. I was going to play you, but I was going to record it and play it for you guys, but it's a little too many F-bombs. When you're done watching this, done subscribing and all that good stuff, and before the ride with Chevy Nasty and Sideline Sports and AC Sports Live, go to YouTube and type in Robin Williams Golf. Go to YouTube and type in Robin Williams Golf. He's a comedian, if you don't know. Robin Williams Golf, you will roar. It's basically about the invention of golf. I think it's 1 minute and 30 seconds. It is absolutely hilarious. Speaking of hilarious, the bottom line. The bottom line is for all the things that you should have learned without even realizing you learned them. Number one, do what you want, but prepare for the consequences. Do what you want, but prepare for the consequences. This goes for the people that if you're laying down in an airport and someone steps on your face, so be it. If you're dressed like Gandalf and or Pancho Villa, people are going to look at you. So do what you want, just prepare for the consequences. Very simple. Number two, it is okay to be young and dumb, quote unquote, but just do it responsibly. If you want to go to these music festivals, hydrate, do what you got. This is my old man one of the day. I don't care. Number three, play to win and not to lose, and do not play to lose. That's what I'm saying. Play to win, not to not lose. That's a mouthful. But just like Rory McIlroy and all the top athletes, you've ever seen them, they play to win. That's what they really, really do. They do a good job of it as well. Today was a good show. If you have any questions, you can always email Rubio at therubiomethod.com. Make sure, like I said, Sideline Sports is tonight. Also, the ride with Chevy and Nasty. If you have anything you'd like me to talk about or you want me to not talk about, you can email Rubio at therubiomethod.com. On that note, I'm out.
Thanks for watching The Rubio Method. Be sure to spread the word. And don't forget to subscribe, like, or follow on YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, Google, Amazon, Twitter, LinkedIn, and Facebook.